And Brutus says, get lost. You are not Cassius. Brutus is like, you're not better than me. Cassius says, I am. And Brutus says, I say that you're not. Cassius says, don't provoke me any further or I'll forget to restrain myself. If you care about your health, you won't push me any further. Brutus says, leave, you little man. Calling like a man like a little man back then was a huge insult, okay? Cassius says, is this possible? Like, are you talking to me like this? Brutus says, listen to me, for I have something to tell you. Am I required to indulge your rash anger? Does a madman scare me when he stares at me? Cassius like, oh gods, must I endure all this? So Cassius is saying, do I really have to put up with this? Brutus says, all this? Yes, and more. Go ahead, rage till your proud heart breaks. Show your slaves how mad you are and make your servants tremble. But me, am I going to cower at you in your irritable moods? You'll have to swallow your own poison till it makes you burst before I'm going to respond. From now on, I'll make you the butt of my jokes whenever you get sharp with me. So Brutus is like really standing up to Cassius, right? Saying like, I'm not putting up with your crud anymore. Cassius says, has it come to this? Brutus says, you say you're a better soldier, show it. Make your boast come true and I'll be thrilled. I'm always happy to hear brave men. Cassius says, you wrong me in every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an older soldier, not a better one. Did I say better? Brutus is like, if you did, I don't care. Cassius says, when Caesar was alive, even he wouldn't dare to anger me like this. And Brutus says, oh, be quiet. You wouldn't have dared to tempt him so. Cassius says, I wouldn't have dared. Brutus is like, no. Cassius goes, what, not dared to tempt him? So they're like really going back and forth, right? And now they're starting to get into it about Caesar. Brutus says, you wouldn't have dared out of fear for your life. Cassius says, don't take my love for granted. I might do something I'll be sorry for. Brutus, you've already done something you should be sorry for. Your threats don't scare me, Cassius, because I'm so secure in my honesty and integrity that they pass me by like a weak breeze. I asked you for a certain amount of gold, which you wouldn't give me. I myself can't raise money by unethical means. I'd rather turn my heart into money and my drops of blood into coins than use crooked tactics to wring petty cash from the hard-working hands of peasants. I asked you for gold to pay my soldiers and you wouldn't give it to me. Was that the Caius Cassius that I know? Caius Cassius that I know? And would I have ever done that to you? If I ever get so greedy that I hoard such petty cash from my friends, may the gods dash me to pieces with their thunderbolts. Cassius says, I didn't refuse you. And Brutus says, you did. Cassius says, I didn't. The man who brought my answer to you was a fool. You've broken my heart. A friend should put up with his friend's weaknesses, but you exaggerate mine. Brutus says, I don't until you practice them on me. Cassius says, you don't love me. And Brutus says, I don't like your faults. Cassius says, a friend would never see faults. Brutus says, no, a flatterer wouldn't, even if the faults were as huge as Mount Olympus. Here, so that's a good point, right? in all of their back and forth right now, obviously, like, Brutus feels like he asked for some funds to help pay for his soldiers. Cassius wouldn't give it to him. Brutus doesn't want to go about getting money in like a mean way, taking from peasants and like poor people, right? So he's trying to figure out a way to raise money. And remember, a lot of people don't like them right now, so that's kind of hard, right? Because Antony had exposed everyone's names on who was who, excuse me, in the conspirators. And then Cassius and Brutus are going back and they make like an interesting comment about friendship. And you have to think about that. When you have a really close friend, do you see your friend's faults? We all have faults, right? Do you know your friend's faults and do you forgive them anyways? And you just kind of not like ignore them, but you kind of do, right? Because you love them as a whole person. You know what they are, but you kind of just you put up with the faults, right? Cassius is saying, well, a true friend would never see any faults in someone. And Brutus says, no, a flatterer or someone who's fake would pretend to not see your faults. A real friend sees your faults and kind of like calls you on them, but also puts up with them. Look what Cassius says. Come, Antony and young Octavius, get your revenge on Cassius, because Cassius has grown tired of the world. He's hated by someone he loves, defied by his brother, rebuked like a servant, and all his faults observed, catalogued in a notebook, read and committed to memory, so they can be thrown in his face. So he's being like real sarcastic, right? Saying, I just wish Antony and Octavius would come kill me. Oh, I would weep my soul right out of myself. And he says, here's my dagger, and here's my bare chest. Inside of it is a heart more valuable than Pluto's silver mine and richer than gold. If you're a Roman, take my heart out. I, who denied you gold, will give you my heart. Strike as you did at Caesar, for I know even when you hated him the most, you still loved him better than you ever loved me. So we're going to leave off right there. We're going to see if Brutus really will kill Cassius. I will actually see you guys Monday. We'll be back. Just a reminder, you do not have homework this weekend, okay? The assignment is not due until the beginning of the week for Acts 4 and 5. You can start working on one of the charts if you want, but you don't have to. And I will see you guys Monday. Bye.